Hey everybody, what's up? It's Jeff from GamerPops again. So today we're going to be looking at the newest video game out for the Nintendo Wii U, and that is Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. A little bit different from the Kirby games that we're normally used to. Has a different play mechanic, a great little art style and whatnot. So let's take a look at the game and I'll tell you a little bit more about it. Kirby and the Rainbow Curse is the latest in a long-running series of video games featuring perhaps Nintendo's most adorable mascot. This time around, something has sucked all the color and life out of Kirby's world, and it's up to Kirby, with a little help from Waddle Dee and a strange paintbrush fairy, to save both her world and his from certain doom. While Kirby and the Rainbow Curse retains the platforming that one expects from a Kirby game, the mechanics of play are different from what we're used to. You won't be sucking in enemies and gaining new abilities in this game. Instead, the player controls Kirby using only the stylus on the gamepad's touchscreen, drawing rainbow platforms for Kirby to roll along, and then tapping him to make him go faster and take out enemies. Get enough stars, and you can unleash the supersized Kirby that takes down anything in his path, including steel blocks and other non-breakable objects in his normal form. That's pretty much it. But that simplicity belies how challenging it is to actually execute. The first few levels easy win, but it gets tricky pretty quickly, and even when it's easy, it requires a lot of planning and dexterity to pull off. There are also a few levels sprinkled in that feature Kirby taking on the form of various vehicles, such as a tank, a rocket, and a submarine. You'll still only be using the stylus for these levels, with rainbow platforms either serving their normal purpose or as a way to aim projectiles at enemies. These levels are done pretty well and usually provide a fun change of pace, even if some end up working better than others. Extra lives should be fairly easy to come by at the start, but you should probably be banking them, as you're going to need them later. The difficulty steps up significantly as you progress through the 7 different worlds, each of which has 3 levels and a boss battle. And yes, of course, there is the seemingly now obligatory hated lava world. Ugh. This is a harder game than other Kirbys we played, just because controlling Kirby is that much more challenging. See, normally all of my kids are fairly comfortable with Kirby. They're 5, 7, and 11. But for this game, it was different. You know, my 5-year-old had a lot of trouble, and my 7-year-old actually preferred playing as a co-op helper, which I'll talk a little bit more about later. Alright, so I'm here with Gavin, and Gavin is one of my 3 sons, and he was playing Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. And just got a couple of questions. So you've been playing this game, Gavin. What did you think about Kirby and the Rainbow Curse?
I liked it so much.
Why did you like it so much?
Because there's different places, and I don't know why Kirby goes in the clouds to eat an apple.
Oh, at the beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah. But how did you find drawing Kirby around instead of using the controller?
Because if you're Kirby, you need to draw, and if you're a different person, it has to be Waddle Dee.
Yes. Do you like playing as Kirby better or as Waddle Dee?
Waddle Dee, because then you don't need, because sometimes you crash into a thing that you're trying to go up from, and Waddle Dee can test jump.
Yeah. Do you like that better?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you like the drawing part with Kirby when you play those, or?
Well, I don't like the drawing part from Kirby, but I like everything else from Kirby. You can run, you tap on him, and then he runs, and then he rolls so fast. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you very much, Gavin.
Okay.
Rainbow Curse's visuals are terrific. The clay art style shows that Nintendo have a real way of using alternative art styles to make some great looking games, no matter how allegedly underpowered the hardware may be. Not that you'll actually be able to tell, of course, because you pretty much have to use the gamepad exclusively. You will actually spend more time watching gameplay than I did looking at my main screen. The presentation almost goes to waste, though the folks watching you and playing as co-op partners will get to appreciate it. Fortunately, the game still looks pretty good on the gamepad, and it also means you can play this game while the main screen is being used for something else, which is always a nice touch. Still, I'm having a hard time understanding why this wasn't a 3DS game instead. It seems pretty much tailor-made for that system. The only thing I can really think of is that the 3DS's touchscreen was too small to pull off the level of detail required for this game. Given that Rainbow Curse's predecessor, Canvas Curse, was a DS game, that's a little harder to accept though. Like other Kirby games we've played, there is cooperative play, and once again it's been done really well. This implementation of co-op was a little bit different and weird, but it was still fun. So up to 3 players can join up and help Kirby, playing as different colored Waddle Dees, or as my 5-year-old likes to call them, Wobble Bees. Unlike Kirby, who is solely controlled using the stylus, these cute little guys are controlled like you would in a typical platforming game using Wii remotes, or, as we also like to use the Wii U Pro controller. It's a strange mix, though one that makes sense when you consider that only one player can use the touchscreen. Plus, as it turns out, it ends up being a nice, no-risk way for younger gamers to enjoy the game when the touch controls prove too difficult for them. In fact, my 2 youngest were pretty much skewed towards preferring to play as Waddle Dees than as Kirby himself, especially if I was around. Of course, as with many new Nintendo games, there is amiibo integration, as you can use the Kirby, Meta Knight, and King DDD figures to give you a one-time, once-per-day boost, and this lasts for the whole level or until you die. Kirby, for example, will give you unlimited star power for one level, allowing you as many super attacks as you like, without the need to collect 100 stars at a time. Now, I can't actually show you what Meta Knight and King DDD do because, well, those amiibo are kind of hard to find right now. We've had this discussion before, but it basically rubs some salt into the wound that the functionality is there, but so few people are going to be able to take advantage of it. And even the people who have those figures are probably keeping them inside the package and won't be able to use them anyways. In terms of value, while there are a relatively small number of levels, some of them are actually fairly lengthy. But still, you're probably going to finish the game in about 6 to 8 hours, maybe a little bit longer if you're having trouble getting used to the controls. The value in this game comes out of whether you're the type of gamer who wants to get every item and collect as many stars as possible in a level. But if you're a one and done type player, there won't be much to go back for. There are a couple of other modes. There's challenges, which are sort of snippets of things that you unlock in each level. But that's pretty much the only other game mode available. You can go in and look at figures you collected by collecting chests and reading their biographies. And you can also listen to music that you have unlocked from past Kirby games. There's also a secret diary, which actually ends up giving you a large part of the backstory that the game itself doesn't really give you. The game basically has your quick intro and your quick finish, and you don't really need much of a story. But it's still told pretty well, even with that little amount of information. But for the full story and backstory and motivations and whatnot, the characters, you want to collect the secret diary pages. Given the extra game modes, though, that we saw in Kirby Triple Deluxe, there was a lot of different things you could do in that game, including the Superb Kirby Fighters and the King DDD Drum Challenge and whatnot. This offering actually comes up as a touch disappointing relative to that game. Maybe we've just been spoiled by past efforts, I'm not sure. Okay, so next up, let me bring in Malcolm. Malcolm?
Da 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 da! Wee wee!
Hey! Come a little closer. Make sure the camera can see your beautiful face. Have a face! So, say hi. Say hi, Malcolm.
See no faces, punch! Hi!
So, you played Kirby the Rainbow Curse, right?
That is correct!
Alright, what did you think of it?
Oh, it's so good!
Yeah, well, what did you think of the fact that you draw to control Kirby instead of just use the controller?
I didn't really play that much of Kirby. I was like a real Kirby guy. I was like Waddly.
You like
this one?
You like being Waddly better?
Yeah.
Yeah? Why'd you like Waddly better?
Because I could jump.
You preferred the platforming parts of it then, right?
I jump I spear people.
As Waddle Dee, yes, Waddle Dee can use his spear to either jab or jab up.
And his special move only destroys one block.
Overall, though, what'd you think of the game?
Good.
Yeah, did you enjoy it?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you wish you'd played more as Kirby, or did you just like the Waddle Dee?
Waddle Dee's better.
Okay.
He's even on the front. You can barely see him, but he's on the front cover.
Yep, he's there. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Malcolm.
This is kind of a few seconds.
That's all we need. Say bye, Malcolm.
Bye. Bye.
And he's gone.
Not yet. Now I'm gone. So
that was Kirby the Rainbow Curse. As you can see, like I said, a little bit different. No less fun. Maybe not my favorite Kirby game that I've played. Up here, and I still think is the standard bearer for in terms of family friendly games that are out there. Return to Dreamland was probably the best traditional Kirby game that I've played, at least, although I probably need to go back and play some of the old ones. Triple Deluxe was fantastic on the 3DS. I guess this was different. And different isn't necessarily bad. It's just not the customary Kirby game you used to. And that different play mechanic, the difficulty, maybe makes it a little less accessible than previous Kirby games before it. Doesn't mean it's still not cute and adorable. It is. Music, presentation, all that other stuff. It's just not the same Kirby experience that I really know and love. It still ends up being a really good game. Just be aware that there is going to be a little bit more of difficulty to it, especially if you want to play with your kids. That said, you want to play with your kids, probably best for you to play as Kirby, especially with the younger ones. They can help out as Waddle Dee, Bandana Waddle Dee, I guess, and you'll still have a pretty good family time, which we experienced. We found that worked best for us when I played as Kirby, and they got to just do their thing as Waddle Dee and with no real consequences attached for them. So hope you enjoyed the video. For more videos, be sure to check out our YouTube page. The link should be hopefully below my face here. Right there, maybe. I always mix this up. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel to find out when more videos are released. And also just check out everything we've got. Go to GamerPops.com, our website, for more content, more written reviews and things like that. And until then, I'm Jeff. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again real soon.